The following quick demonstration will focus on the Ripehouse suburb search tools and helping you find the highest potential cash flow suburbs or positive cash flow suburbs in your catchment area or your area of interest. Now, I define your area of interest as the geographical regions that you're interested in investing in, and then also a filter or limitation placed on the price range that you're looking for. So firstly, I establish the area of interest and then the purchase requirements around your personal needs and goals for that area of interest, and then we apply the cash flow score assessment to rank those suburbs in that order. What goes into the cash flow score? Well, firstly, obviously, yield is the most important metric. We basically rank suburbs in order of yield in that catchment area, but we do put them through a check and balance. So they need to have a minimum requirement of healthy tenancy environment to qualify for a cash flow score. So basically, it needs to have reasonable rent volumes, reasonably stable rent amounts per week, so rental stock clearing quite successfully as well. So days on market for rental stock clearing quite successfully. So it's trying to avoid, the 15% yields in the mining towns that isn't very stable and has got the higher chance of dropping. So we do have that check and balance. So suburbs that you see returned using the cash flow score are ranked on yield, but there is a minimum requirement for stability in a tenancy market. Okay, so let's just demonstrate how to quickly perform the cash flow search. Top right of every page, we've got the click to search button. We can search for individual properties, individual suburbs. Let's go with the cash flow badge here. We can specify a maximum level of crime that we are comfortable with in our investment. Let's set 500k as our maximum price range. Let's go with Victoria. We'll go with Melbourne region. We can select other regions in Victoria. We do need to select a state. However, by default, all local government areas in Victoria are selected. We can fine-tune that based on our region or local government area that we'd like to focus on. And let's look at everything under 40k's from the CBD. So we are looking for cash flow yields within 40k's of Melbourne under 500k. So there are requirements. It's going to give us back a list of all suburbs that match those requirements, and it's going to rank them based on their cash flow score. So in doing that, the first level of rankage is the yield score. So it does rank these suburbs. It's returned 90 suburbs in all that match those criteria. It does rank them in order of yield. And then second to that, there needs to be, as I mentioned, a minimum requirement around the cash flow score. So that needs to be relatively stable. The tenancy environment needs to be relatively stable for it to qualify and get a nice high cash flow score. The higher the better. This basically means that Melbourne CBD is better than 80% of other suburbs relatively based on the cash flow score. Okay, so it's a combination of the two. Let's look for high yields and high cash flow scores. Here's another one, Belgrave down here, 5.8% average yield, 92% cash flow score, very good. What it's saying is the average yield in the suburb is 5.8. I'm sure there's streets and areas in Belgrave that have a higher average yield. At the second stage, we can actually go into the suburb analysis and we might be able to find streets where the average yield is actually 8% or 7% or 9%. There might obviously be streets in Belgrave that have 2 or 3% average yield. We know how to avoid those. So that's the power of the second stage, which is the street analysis. At this point, we're looking to shortlist, add to my suburbs, the highest potential for cash flow suburbs in Melbourne at the moment. This is in the previous quarter, and we can then fine-tune from there our requirements.